New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm always confused which way to move on the camera. But I figured it out because that's the kind of girl I am. So, hello and welcome. Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. I am Robyn Rice Olmsted.
I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson today.
You should see her on Wednesdays and Tuesdays, who she is. Yep. Stay tuned. Who knows? We may have our alter egos do the show, but for right now, we are here. We are present. We are doing this show in spite of everything going on around us. And Dr. Natasha is joining us from
Australia, Brisbane, Queensland, where it's hot. It's very hot. And it's triggering hot flashes. So just bear with me today.
Hot flashes. And I am in Southern California. I am in Carlsbad, California, where it's hot and it's kind of muggy. But there's an ocean out there, and I'm really grateful for that because I miss the ocean when I'm in New Mexico.
Yeah.
So, did we do a show last week? We did, right? Oh yeah, we did.
It feels like 3 months.
I can't. Yeah, everything. Time is so distorted. Well, it's all our producer's fault because he hasn't been here and he hasn't been on my other show. And yeah. You know, it just throws us totally off.
So you're blaming me now.
Yes, that's accurate.
All right. So you're not. So that means that there's points deducted for my year-end bonus. Is that correct?
Well, that we'll start there. Yes. But we may just have to demote you entirely.
You're going to demote me. No, I'm yours now. I'm done with conferences. I'm done with I am all yours.
Okay, so we just have to be prepared to enter the studio 2 minutes before.
No. That was my fault. I had some errands to run before I came here. But we will work on that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you choosing us. We appreciate.
No, you guys choose me.
Whatever.
You guys keep me off the streets. You're in Akron.
There you go.
All right. Bye.
Well, then Akron needs to thank us. But anyway, thank you. And thank you to Gil Olmsted, who stepped in and ran our commercials and produced as best he could. So we are taken care of. So how's your week been?
Yeah, I don't know. My week has been very full of everything that is life when you have children and relationships and work and all that stuff.
But last we left you were on your unbirthday.
That's right. I got a lot of gifts and other things on my unbirthday. So, but it was okay. It was fine. I'm now officially 49 years old, and yep. So,
well, that's good. So, but did you have a good time in the end?
because I did what I wanted to do, which was nothing. Yeah, I did nothing. And then this weekend, I think I'm actually going to do a small little celebration ceremony for myself because I'm going to be child free this weekend. So, yeah, I been reading from the Gnostic Gospels, and I just came across the parable of the sower, and I just really feel like it's something I want to drop into over the weekend. Yeah, to sort of like on my own officially mark my 49th year on planet Earth. Yeah.
Okay, it sounds very strategic and lovely.
Yeah. Right now, what I crave more than anything is like structure. I just crave structure. And so I just keep leaning into there is a divine order and I am a part of that divine order, right? I'm not separate from it. So I just have to keep leaning into it. I just keep leaning into it. And I don't know, something about reading the parable of the sower from the Gnostic Gospels just sort of helped me understand that no matter where the seeds fall, there's a divine order. It's just a beautiful short parable, it's just, yes, there's a divine order to all of it. Yeah.
There is a divine order, and that's why we're here. We are here to express that and to get you through that, even when it doesn't feel like there's a divine order or there's something behind it all. Even amidst the chaos, there is a plan.
Amen. Yeah, I might even read it. The parable of it's so small. Maybe I'll read it to our audience. It's so small. Have you I love the Gnostic Gospels, right? I love them. I love all the sort of like mystical text of the main big religions. Like I love reading about Kabbalah. I know some say Kabbalah. I love the Sufi tradition, which is the mystical tradition of Islam. I just love the mystics. I love the mystical traditions. They just bring so much. They just help me remember.
Yeah. So not to turn this into a session, but like no, I'm just thinking as you're saying that because it's curious to me because I've known Dr. Natasha for a while and through many phases and incarnations in her life. And like what you probably know if you listen to this show is that Dr. Natasha is a lifelong learner. She loves studying. She loves all of that. And I'm wondering, because you've always talked about, wanting to be a practitioner or a minister or something in that realm. And with all this training and studying you've done, it's like, what do you think it is that has stopped you?
I don't know. I feel like I have to drop in, and I don't think I've ever really dropped in. But I know, like, as I'm sitting with the question right now, I think everything is about divine timing, right? And as I'm doing, like I said, right now, I'm leaning into this sort of desire to experience like structure and order. And I don't think anything has ever stopped me. I just think I wasn't ready. It wasn't the right time. If that makes sense.
I ask because like when you talk about it, I can see the passion. I can feel the passion.
Yeah, it's a calling that's never gone away. I think like with a lot of us who feel callings, well, I don't know. I know for me, I really had to work through those constant questions from people in my family and people who care a great deal about me, but I still had not had my own voice, like a sense of me. And so I was always thinking, okay, so if I lean into this, then what am I going to do for work? Like, how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to make money? I need to do the thing first that's going to guarantee that I, can have a stabilized financial life. And as you know, because you've been with me through so many iterations, you know, after my brothers were murdered, my faith was really shaken. You know, it was really, really, oh my God, even as I say it, I feel it. My faith was really shaken, and there was just like no way. I was too angry with life. So, and that took up a lot of time. So instead of, yeah, I just I went and got a social work degree. I went to get a second master's.
Well, and you know, truth be told, those fields are pretty similar. It's just one makes money more.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I felt really shaken. I didn't feel that same like I know I can lean into the divine. I know like all my needs are met. I just wasn't there. I didn't believe it after they were taken the way that they were. So I was like, no, I gotta lean into like making sure my life is steady, because God might not exist. So it, you know, yeah, it's been very, very a very hard journey.
Yeah. Yes, and got it, as with all of us. But again, in my experience, more so with you in many ways, that your faith has been tested repeatedly in big ways, you know, in big ways, in big losses. So yeah, I get that. I
Yeah,
get what you're saying.
and you know, each time I do, I come back, but I come. It's like I come home. You know, still grieving, but I come home, and the grief means something different when I come home.
Right.
When I say come home to the divine, like that I'm in, that's in me, that's in, you know, everything. Um, sorry.
No,
It's
don't be
really
sorry.
hard. You know, I felt the calling to ministry since I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
To be in the, you know, to never have followed it completely the way I've done with other things, you know,
Right.
other degrees. To some degree, it feels like a grief, almost like, I don't know. That's a big question, and I did not expect it to evoke so much emotion. So there we go.
Yeah, it is a big question, and I'm not sorry. But you know, I didn't mean to bring this stuff up for you, but I
No,
think
it's okay.
it's a great inquiry. I mean, just because like I said, I could feel it. We could feel it when you were talking about the readings and the this and the that, and you get excited. I mean, and again, knowing you and going through things with you over the years, and now it's like I love it when that passion comes up, because sometimes we don't see that passion, but when that passion comes up, it's like undeniable. So
Mhm.
you know, it just came up. I
Yeah.
guess it needed to come up today.
It's all good. Like my tears are cleansing, and like I'm okay. It just lets me know that it still lives in me very strongly. Like it hasn't gone away. So
Well, geez, and maybe it's part of the new year. I mean, 49. You're not even through with half your life, according to someone I was talking to the other day. They now say we can live to 125, 150.
oh
So,
fuck, I don't want to do that.
oh god, for those of you, that swear word is an acronym for forever unfolding cosmic knowledge. That's what we do here. That's what we do here on Girls Behaving Metaphysically. So we're glad you're here and have witnessed that, have part of
Oh
that
my,
cosmic unfolding. So,
yeah.
all right. So moving on. So, your week was good. You celebrated the way you wanted to. You seem more, you know, more center. I'm sorry. I'm in my makeshift studio in Southern California. Okay. And of course, my kids have taken my computer screen, so I had to make it out of a tablet because it's now part of the gaming room. So, but all is well.
So what about your
my week has been good. I came to California a couple days ago, and that's good. I mean, it's good. I didn't want to because I had stuff to do, at home, but it was that I don't want to, but I can tell, like, being here, I'm here for a reason, and that's good. And yeah, so, and I love being in California. I love it. I called my husband first thing. I'm like, I don't know. We may have to move back. I do. Like, I think it's cliche when people go, "Oh, Robyn, you're such a California girl." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm not as California girl as, like, people who are out surfing all the time and things. So I didn't really believe it, but I really am such a California girl. I just am. Just everything about it. I love it. Yeah.
You might have
So
to
it's
move
good to be here. What'd you say?
I said you just might have to move back.
I might. But not for a while. Not before the card pull of the week.
Are we going to do that now, or are we going to do that when we come back from the break?
I think we're going to do it now.
Okay. Then let me grab the deck. Oh, here we go. So then you will just tell me when to stop.
All right. Our card pull of the week, where we see what guidance we're being given by the universe. Stop.
Okay.
And Natasha has it.
I don't know what. Okay. So I was going to do that. So I'm going to pull the card that's like poking out. Be authentic. I keep forgetting my camera's over here now. Be authentic.
Okay.
Be authentic, which is those tears I just let go.
I was going to say, between the tears and the the sassy dialogue, the swearing, I think we're as authentic as it gets right now.
I know, we get too more authentic. We might, I don't know, we might be banned from the internet. All right.
So be authentic. I think for me, what's coming up around that is sorry, I'm trying to fix this camera. Is I think it's more than just, be authentic, be real, blah, 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 blah. I think that what I'm noticing is it's really like the general be authentic. I feel like the whole world needs to be authentic. Does that make any sense? Like, I don't know, like, people, like you said it when you said, I always come home to myself. And I think it's that place inside of people where everyone needs to come home to themselves, like, because people are just losing their minds and out of control about things. And, like, if we can't come home to ourselves and to our authentic goodness, kindness, love, whatever it is for each of us, our own basic principles. I just think it's that time, that time in the world.
I just want to really see if we can capture this imagery of this card. Let me try to hold my hand steady and get it centered. It is a female figure who is sitting cross-legged and looks like she's holding a moon or some sort of glowing orb. And around her is like all of the cosmic energy swirling. There are little beings of light moving up from the top of her head. Where her brain would be, it looks like flower petals, and these lights moving up to the cosmos, even as she's grounded in all of this swirling energy. And she's centered. Her eyes are closed. So when I see that, to me, that represents trust. And I really feel, I'm not reading from the book. I've never even pulled this card. I'm just like looking at it, and it just speaks to what you just said to me, right? Like, we have everything swirling around us, but when we come home to ourselves, we can reconnect to that, or remember, or whatever it is we do, to this knowing that there is this divine order. Even when things are just swirling all around, I can be centered. I can be centered. I can be centered. I'm a part of this cosmic order. So, like, as you were speaking, I was looking at the image. I was like, wow, how apropos.
Yeah, and what you described, I mean, that to me really feels like the essence, the platform, the core concept of this show. Because Girls Behaving Metaphysically, and it's not only girls, it's boys too, but Girls Behaving Metaphysically is not about having it all together and having all the answers. It's about really being able to explore and go back to that place when things are swirling around you, and know that it's all spirit in motion, and not have that, judgment about right and wrong. And I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And I really want to read this parable from the Gnostics, this beautiful saying that Jesus said when we get back from the break, because I think in so many ways it ties into what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, then let's take a break, because we're pretty in alignment on that concept. And let's take a break. Let's come back. Let's talk about Jesus and whatever else comes up. So please join us in conversation if you are able. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know where you're watching from. Talk to us about what we're talking about, or if there's anything else you'd like for us to be talking about on another show. And, do all that liking and stuff that you do for social media, because we really appreciate it. And while you're doing all that, we're going to take a break, and we'll come right back right here on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here comes the girl. It's more than practical. Here comes the girl. Way more than merely factual. If you wanna know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello, we are back right here on New Thought Media Network. I am Robyn Rice Olmsted.
I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson.
And we are talking about
Authenticity.
Authenticity. All right. So Natasha wanted to share with us, so take it away.
Yeah, so I'm just, like I said, I've been sitting and reading the Gnostics again, and they move me so much. I really love the Gnostics of Mary. But okay, so anyways, this one is just, it's the parable of the sower. And I don't know how many of you read science fiction books, but like, if you have to read Octavia Butler, right? She was a Nebula Award winner before she died. One of the few, if not only, Black women to ever win that in science fiction for several of her books. And she wrote a whole series called based on this parable that I'm about to read to you. So anyways, here's the parable. So Jesus said, "Look, a sower went out, took a handful of seeds and scattered them. Some fell on the roadside. The birds came and gathered them. Others fell on the rock. They didn't take root in the soil, and ears of grain didn't rise toward heaven. Yet others fell on thorns. They choked, and the seeds and worms ate them. Finally, others fell on good soil. It produced fruit up toward heaven, some 60 times as much, and some 120.
So what does that bring up for you? Why do you love that?
I love it because for me, what it brings up again is that there is a divine order. And that even when it seems like everything's just scattered, there are seeds that land where they need to land. And even when those seeds seem to land on the thorns or on the roads and the birds eat them, so then the birds are getting some of the seeds, the seeds are going where they need to go. They are going where they need to go. Some will take root, some will just remain seeds. But it lands where it's supposed to land. And I feel like this particular parable, for the time that I feel like we're all sort of living through, that it just seems like stuff is just scattered everywhere, right? And but there are seeds that are landing and taking root exactly where they're supposed to. So that's what it brings up for me. And then again, I feel like I can remember that I am a part of the divine order, because I'm in the divine order and it is in me. So yeah, it just helped. It's one of those parables that support a sense of like faith in me, not blind faith, but like a faith that I actually can witness and feel and have a relationship with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. I think it makes me curious as to what people do when they need that faith. Like, if you turn to the Bible, or if you turn to Deepak Chopra, or if you turn to, it doesn't matter who or what, like, but, a reading like that, I think it's so I don't know. I was just thinking as you were talking, like it's so interesting, like these things, especially these writings that have gone through ages, how they touch something in everyone differently. It's kind of magical,
Mm, mm,
you
yeah.
know. So you feel like that goes into what, like the card that you pulled?
Yeah. In a lot of ways, I do. Like be authentic. Like when I think of authenticity, I think of like deep honesty. I think of, yeah, stuff seems scattered, and I don't have to pretend that it doesn't feel that way or appear that way, or that sometimes I forget that there is a divine order. But when I look at that card again, the image is of someone coming home in the middle of everything that's happening, in the middle of all the seeds that are scattered. Her eyes are closed. There's a trust. There's a something there, and yeah. I for me, I just open every time. I just open the Gnostics, and whatever it falls on, that's what I read, and that's what it fell on this morning. And I just felt like it was exactly what I needed. And so even the question you asked me felt like it was all connected to
Mm-hmm.
both the question you asked me that like brought me to tears, um, the card we pulled, the conversation we had, your reflection on authenticity being something that is being much needed right now in this time, right? So
Right.
to me, the connection between authenticity, yeah, and what this parable of the sower brings up for me when I read it.
Yeah, and what this parable brought up for me actually is just, when people look around at what's going on now or 10 years ago or whatever, and feel like the seeds that have been scattered haven't made a difference. Like when they can't see that space where things are making a difference, like where we feel like we're doing the same thing over and over, but it's not true,
Mm,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Even in the parable, right? Like, so some of the seeds, let's see, were eaten by worms. We know how important worms are for composting soil. Others fell on rocks. The birds came and gathered them and ate them. We know what birds like when, like birds, when they poop out the seeds, like what that does for fertilizing the soil. So that's what I mean. I mean, like, it seems scattered and meaningless, but everything lands exactly where it lands. And I even think about the ones that, may have landed in the thorns, the ones that fell on the thorns. Then those seeds go dormant. And who knows? Someone may come along one day and water them, and then they may no longer be, but they're also being protected by the thorns. So the seeds are both being protected by the thorns, and then they can go dormant. So that's what I mean. I feel like there is a faith in this parable. There's a trust in a divine order that we don't need to be able, we have our purview as human beings. And
Mhm.
then there's this bigger purview. And this parable takes me home to that.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. I think for me, I'm sure it's colored by the lens of my day, but
Mm,
I think about, I just I'm a little stuck in the scattered, and the thorns and all of that, because I also think, like, in the struggle, when I think about things like civil rights movement and struggles gone by, I think about how many thorns there are in that journey as well,
mm,
and just, you don't know what the seeds are planted, but you don't know how they make a difference. Like, I think about when I moved to New Mexico and sat down in the center where my husband is a spiritual director. And this man started talking to us because we were going to have somebody there who, I guess she's a drag queen now. During COVID, they became a drag queen, but they also, her name is Flamey Grant, and she's very fun. But she tells her story, and she's also a singer. She's had like songs on the country western chart. And we were talking with this man, and this man was probably 80, 75, 80, I don't know. And he was talking about, I don't know, back where I come from, this person wouldn't have even been alive, and da, 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 da. And I was like, I had to like breathe and keep the poker face, but my insides were like, reacting. And when I discussed it afterwards with Gil, he was like, well, Robyn, if we're open at the top, we have to be open to that. And the person who it was is now more active in the center than ever, and just like so present. And not that he was not that he was actively even racist about it, but his experience, and obviously he still carried some thoughts, but like I've seen the shift, and so we don't know like what our kindness does, or what our love does, or what, for the ministers out there and practitioners, what our talks do. And we don't know what our seeds are doing. That's the thing. We may never see our seeds.
Yeah.
And then I go, sorry. I was going to say, then I go today, which is the reason I was running so late. I go to pick up my godson because he calls from school and he's like, I need to come home, but I didn't get in trouble. I didn't do anything. I'm like, okay, great. So I go to get him, and long story short, somebody called him the N-word. And he's like, yeah, they call me the N-word with a hard R. I was like, then you have that moment where you go, is any of this making any difference? But I have to believe it is. Even just in the way the school responded to it, and the way they were so attentive and clear about, what was going on. But by the same token, there's a pain within me that makes it feel like, is anything happening? Is this ever going to stop? Or change?
It's so interesting when I hear, at least I'm reflecting on what you said, and it's making me think of James Baldwin, who was one of my spiritual avatars. Fabulous, amazing, spiritual gay man, Black man. I remember he did this interview, and I believe it was like with CBS, and it was in black and white, and he was there. And I really want to read that comment also from Raymond Anderson. But I remember in this interview, he was just like, he was smoking his cigarette, because back then you could smoke cigarettes in this new studio. And the interviewer asked him, like, how is he affected when he's called the N-word? And he's like, I don't feel any kind of way.
Right.
Because I'm not the N-word. He said the word. He said, the N-word is the person who created him. And he goes, I feel no kind of way. Right? Because it's a reflection of someone else's sense of inferiority and projection onto another being. Right? So it's not even about me. Now, do I keep those people away from me for reasons of safety? Yes. And so even when I was listening to you, earlier in telling the story about the church and what the guy said about the person who later became a drag queen, I feel like it may not have been her place to sort of keep that like close proximity to someone who would cause her harm, right? And there is a place where, so it's almost like we each need to know what our work is in some ways.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not about to go into a KKK rally and try to explain anything, right? Like that ain't my work. That's the work for somebody else to do. So, but do I believe like people are not redeemable? Of course not. I don't believe that. I think people get scared and, and there's a whole history there that, that this has been done on purpose. But when I think, are things moving? Absolutely, they're moving. And I think they move even more when we expose our young people, like, to James Baldwin.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The N-word, who invented him, not me.
Well, yes. And it's easier for us to say that at this stage than for my 17-year-old to say,
absolutely,
that's really about you.
But and it's good to start to expose them to people that have grappled with this and landed in a very different place because of it. So maybe we can read some of these.
Yeah. So I just put up the quote that Raymond said. Hi, Raymond. Good to see you. Good to be with you. To be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a range almost all the time. In a range.
Now that was James Baldwin's earlier life. Later, he was like,
yeah,
I'm not the N-word, right?
But what's true about that is the opportunity to be in a rage all the time is there. It's what we do with it, right?
Yeah. And when we're in a rage all the time, it has a real consequence on our nervous system that is unjust. And that's why I love James Baldwin in his later life, where he was like, the N-word is who created him. Because until we find a way to not take on the projection, it is going to wreck our nervous system, and that's unjust. We don't deserve that. We all deserve to feel safe and relatively calm. And so we don't need to think about ourselves based on other people's projections.
Yeah, and how possible is that in this world of media, social media, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
We're learning it a new way every generation. For me, I'm not on social media because it doesn't serve me in any sort of way. It's just like this constant feedback loop of stuff that I don't need, like as a woman, a person socializes a woman and a girl in this world. I realize I have had a severely underdeveloped sense of self. Some psychologists might call it an ego. When we talk about it from psychology, we just mean a sense of self. And as a woman who was socialized as a girl and a woman, I was socialized to outsource my sense of self onto others. So I take care of others. I think about my needs last. I don't even know what my voice sounds like. So when I hear the voice of God, I don't know that's my voice. So that's why it seems like, I fall into tears when we talk about my calling, right? Like, because I wasn't socialized to honor that. So a part of like for women and girls, and there's some beautiful writing on this about sometimes how even women and girls, we need a readaptation of even certain types of spirituality, because a lot of things that spiritual tools that we are given. And I think about in things like Christianity, where it's like, you know, deny the self, let go of the self. Like for you know, I remember listening to this podcast, and she was raised in this really religious family, and on Christmas they had to think of one thing that they're going to sacrifice or give to Jesus on his birthday, right? And she says she remembered when she was like 16 and they were doing their ritual, and she just felt so much rage when it came around to her, because she was like, what else is there for me to give, right? Like I take care of my little brothers. I do a teacher's one. I do what the priest or I do with my parents. I have no clue. Like, you know, like everything about me, like even my last name, it's my dad's last name. And then when I get married, I take my husband's last name, right? It's like, it just, so anyways, and so she felt this rage, and her family, of course, thought something was wrong with her. And so part of it is like, we have to find ways to retool some of these spiritual practices that is specific to girls and women, because we have to develop an ego. We have to develop a healthy sense of self. And I guess I'm saying that to say, when I say that I am not taking on other people's projections, I am doing that to save my life, to develop myself and my soul, to listen to my calling. I will not take on people's projections. And that's what I'm working with my daughters to do, so they can start to hear their own still small voice, as opposed to being socialized to not have a self. That works for a certain segment of the population, because they need that to come into balance. I think that's what we see when we see our president, or the president, or whatever he is in the United States. We see like an ego completely out of control. If anybody could use the teachings of denying the self, it would be him, right? We don't need those. Those don't serve us. So anyways, I'm sorry, I just went on a long rant.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And we didn't, so do you want to read Raymond's other thing?
Oh, sure.
There's a couple of things. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I think this is from when we were reading the parable. I think it reminds me of something I read earlier today. So, quote, since we live in a society that promotes faddism, and temporary superficial, oh no, this is about the car, and temporary superficial adaptation of different values, we are easily convinced that changes have occurred in areas where there has been little or no change, right? And so, and I know this, I God bless Bell Hooks, I think I've read all her stuff. So when I remember like her writing this. I remember being in grad school reading this. And part of what that is saying is, because we do not have relationships with authenticity collectively, we have relationships with fads, we have relationships with superficial adaptations of different cultural values, cultural ideas. We think because we see Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, like our cultures made these big changes, and we might see people dressing like them, right? And it makes it seem like we've made these huge shifts. But again, that is not about authenticity. It's not even about authentic relationships, because that's when things really change. When we start to have authentic relationships, both with ourselves and with other people we've perceived of as quote unquote different. That's authentic. So often it looks like there's been little or no, well, it looks like we are easily convinced that changes have occurred in areas where there has been little or no change, because there's no authenticity. So instead of having, I'm sorry. So instead of having authentic relationships, we're having relationships with images and fads and ideas that are like promoted in the media. And just because Kim Kardashian wears cornrows doesn't mean that we've made, substantial changes around what's called in the anti-racist literature projective objectification. So like projecting onto other people, usually one's own sense of insecurity, but in a collective way. Okay, sorry. So I went kind of academic, but then
no need to be sorry.
I'm not really sorry, but
I hesitate to speak simply because I really do think, obviously this is a whole topic and we have 5 minutes left. So this hour goes so fast. There's so much to this. But while Dr. Raymond is out there, I want to share with him what we're going to be doing, because I actually had a conversation with him where he said he would come on our show, and I would like to invite him for one of these upcoming weeks. Why don't you talk about what we're going to be doing in November? We're going to roll out.
The 4 agreements. The 4 agreements. It's very popular, based on Toltec wisdom. And so each week we are going to focus on each agreement. So I don't know what those emojis mean. I'm old.
It means he's happy.
Oh, okay. Those are happy emojis. Okay.
So there are a lot of emojis, but that's at the end of the day, he's happy.
Okay. So the 4 agreements based on ancient Toltec wisdom. So, there's be impeccable with your word. Like, we really are going to drop into what that means from ancient Toltec wisdom. Some people think when we say be impeccable with your word, it means keep your word, do what you say. No, from a Toltec perspective, and it's so into drops right into new thought, right? So be impeccable with your word means be mindful of the power of your word. Be mindful of how you speak about yourself, right? I'm going to move faster, okay? And then the second one, I believe, is don't take anything personally, which is exactly what we were just talking about, right? Like James Baldwin. Sorry, my invisible cigarette, right? And then don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. We want to know something, we just ask. We don't make assumptions, right? So anyways, and then the 4th one is always do your best. And so we're going to roll this out.
And there's 5, right? There's 5 agreements. Well,
there is a 5th agreement, but we don't have that book. So, I do have the book, but let's get through the 4, and then we can do the 5th. What you think about that?
Yeah, so what I'd like to do is invite Dr. Raymond to pick his week, pick your week, and come on, and we'll talk about that with you. Okay? So that's my invitation. So, okay. Once again, we have come to the end of our show.
Yeah. Oh my God, look at my hair at the end of the show from the humidity. It's just gone like poof.
Yeah, it did. It grew on each side.
It literally grew. That's so funny. Oh God. All right.
Okay, those emojis mean he says yes.
Awesome.
and that he loves us. That's what it means. I get to write my own thing, because you don't know him. He's amazing. He's an amazing soul. You'll love him, and
if you know him, he is amazing.
He's for me. This is my interpretation. For me, he's someone who walks his talk.
Beautiful.
So it'll be great to have him on the show. We'll figure out what week, and I guess you have to come back next week to see who's going to be here and what agreement we're on. But if you have the 4 agreements, pull them out, look them over, and let's talk about them. Because who doesn't need more agreements?
I know, and I need to go take care of this black girl hair, so I gotta go.
All right, that's what mine's under a hat. All right, everybody. So we love you. Stay true to who you are, because we know you are that space of love and kindness and goodness.
And your seeds matter.
Yeah. All right. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, Michael Mangus. Thank you, New Thought Media Network. We love you, and we'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.